Welcome back, guys. This is episode 2 of Trevor's Datsun 240. We are back doing the electrical wiring now. We spent yesterday just about all day trying to figure out this wiring setup from the dashboard, the original. We couldn't get it hooked up correctly to get power through the whole system. And it took us a lot of trials and errors, but we finally found that the issue was that you have to have the ammeter gauge plugged in through the wires because all the main power runs through that gauge first and then to everything else. So we got that hooked up and everything's, switching on, lighting up. So now we can start modifying the wiring to take the new gauges. So
also, hey, summertime's coming up and we got t-shirts, so if you want to support the boys, go get your Cherry Garage merchandise. We'll have a link in the description.
Well, Speed Hut supplied these terrible wiring diagrams with their gauges. Some of the wires aren't existent on the diagrams, and some of them are different colors. So, I think we did figure out, though, generally what everything is. We're going to go ahead and try to set up the speedometer, because that seems to be the easiest. Minus the fuel gauge aspect. We know that the fuel gauge has to be calibrated. Yeah, calibrated. And to do that, we have to empty the fuel tank so the sensor's at 0 to calibrate it correctly. So what we have to do basically is find the previous plugs for the old gauges and basically wire them to the new gauges. So we're deep into this wiring right here. So we figured out exactly what we're gonna do and the route we're gonna go. We were supplied with a power inverter right here and a dimmer switch right here and an inline fuse. So all these gauges, they all share similar style plugs, which is this red, white, and black. And they gave us these piggy tail lines, which is super convenient. So we're gonna wire them all together in series, like this is the dimmer. We're gonna wire the speedometer as basically the closest to power and ground, so that'll be all sourced on that side by the driver. You would think that power would be around the fuse box or around like the entrance to all the wires, but the way this is set up with the dimmer switch being on the driver's side and us having some common grounds all on that driver's side, we're gonna just route everything extending from here over this way. And there'll be one wire, basically, maybe 2 wires I think, coming down to the fuse box, wrapped through the wire loom. So that's a lot better than having all the wires route that way. And basically we're setting these all up, plugging them all in together, and we're gonna have them all function first, and then we're gonna tidy up the wires on this loom, and then take this, put it into the dashboard, make it all pretty, and then make sure everything works, of course. So
hey guys, finally finished up sanding and prepping the dash for, well, flocking. I've got to put the adhesive on it, then we're going to put the flocking material on, give it a nice velvety feel. I think 4 or 5 coats on it of the Bondo polyurethane, whatever it is, but it came out pretty damn good, I think.
oh yeah. So we had this idea, since the speedometer gauge thing, dial, is no longer in use.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep this dimmer switch here.
Yeah.
And that's gonna control the needle light. Like the red needle, those light up separately. So that'll control the needle light.
Interesting.
And this one will control the backlight to all the gauges.
That's kind of cool.
Or we can just bypass this completely and have needle lights on all the time when you turn the key on.
Hey, either way. That'd be kind of cool, actually. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Why not?
Cool.
Wait, just coming.
Okay.
Alright, boys, girls, and fans of the Cherry Garage, we are flocking. Keaton and Trevor are applying the adhesive right now, and I will soon be using my mini flocker to flock this thing up. Here we go.
Angle it down.
Down. Yeah.
Said be generous.
That's looking good. Yeah, maybe this is not a good idea doing it at the same time. It's getting caught up in that.
Yeah, okay. Maybe hold off for a minute then.
I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of tough work. This looks tight. I kind of want to do the E30 with this now.
Dude, there's a lot of people that flock their dashes.
I want to do my whole car.
Do it.
Just do a flocked paint job.
Yeah.
Go find some beater $500 card.
Sorry for party flocking. Flock your body. Come on, flock your body. Flock your body.
Oh, that looks sick.
Whew. Fuck yeah. So cool.
Now we got another bag.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Like, I've seen the videos and they look good in the videos, but this is just...
It looks better in person than it does on camera too.
It
It's
does.
weird. Because I think you got the bifocal vision and it like blends it together. Because on camera you get a little bit of like, you see like a little bit, barely any
Yeah.
discolor.
It looks
Thumbs up.
good shit.
There you go. Now this is the last one. This one gets put onto the factory dimmer switch for the dashboard, which is the power to the needles to the gauges. Alright, we got a dry test for general power, not the signals yet, but plugging them all into the pigtails, we got this one, which is the needle light. Go ahead, look. And then we have the dimmer switch for the backlighting on the gauge. Signal wires are going to be straightforward as far as plugging them in, but finding which ones are the signal wires will be the more fun part. So, two of them, the water temperature and the oil pressure, have designated sensors that we plug straight to. The tachometer has an output plug. We have to figure, it's this one, I think. We have to figure out which one of these 3 wires, I think it's the green one, is a signal wire. The fuel pump, or fuel tank gauge is on this one that we marked. That should be about it. Oil right there, voltmeter runs normally. Oil pressure and water temp, those get their own sensors we have. This one, plug, this one, plug. We'll be done. Alright, now we're doing the tachometer signal. We found on the wiring diagram right here. Here's the tachometer. I don't know how can you get the light closer maybe? There you go. There's the tachometer. The signal wire is black with a white stripe. It runs to the positive part of the ignition coil terminal. Now on the directions for the speed hut, yeah, directions for the speed hut gauge, it says up until the 90s, the signal wire for tachometers will put off the negative side of the ignition coil. That's not the case for us, but we're going to go ahead and follow the instructions for this because it wants the yellow wire connected to the negative side of the ignition coil. What we're doing is taking the existing wire that's on the positive side of the terminal and just swapping it over to the negative side of the terminal. That way, the wire coming out of that plug up there in the wire loom is the correct wire to tap off of, and we don't have to run our own wire and keep it nice and simple. So, we're gonna go to the ignition coil right here, and we're gonna find the black with the white stripe right here, which is on the positive terminal. Take this and put it right there. And that would be about as much fabrication as we need to do for that one. We'll see after we get that done and see if it works, but we're not gonna start it up yet, so. We're gonna start it up after we get the heater core in there. So the coolant doesn't fly out of the
make a big mess.
Yeah, that would suck. Luckily, also, since this is a generic gauge, and they're made for 4 cylinders up to 12 cylinders. You have to like digitally set which cylinders you have on the thing, but it's factory set at 6 cylinders, so we're not gonna have to do any. What is it called again? Configuration or?
There's no calibration yet.
Yeah, no calibration. I can't remember that word. There you go.
What's up, guys? We're on weekend number 3 of the Datsun restoration project. So Keaton,
You sound like you hate it.
where are we?
We're testing out the blower motor, making sure that works because it wasn't working before. So we're gonna hook it all up through the control panel because there's some fusible links in here that aren't connected and broken. But we're kind of in the process of just cutting out old wires and taping them down and putting in the new like fusible power links and grounds. So. Oh, and Trevor also got a couple speakers to put in here as well. So we're gonna put the new head unit in, put the new speakers in. There's 2 6x9s going in these utility drawers and 5 1/4 inch. And you finished flocking it?
Yep.
There's the finished flock. Woo! And the glove box and the unibrow. So we're gonna finish up doing this wiring on the inside to make it all tidy and test everything finally, and then we're gonna transfer it over to the dash and start installing stuff on the dash so that we can bring it all inside. All right, we just about finished up the wiring loom with everything cut out that we don't need and everything put in that we do need. So we have the gauges hooked up for our last dry run, and we're gonna show you what it looks like with the lighting. So we have one last thing to like hardwire in, but we just have it jumper cabled right now, but it all works, so we'll show you. The sensors aren't all functioning because the car's not running, such as the temperature and the oil pressure, but go on that side. Yeah.
We'll go to the other side, give you guys what it's gonna look like, a little sneak peek.
So we got the gauges right here. Everything hooked up. It looks like a mess, but I mean, it's gonna look good. So here we go with the ignition on. Gauges are all getting power, and we have the dimmer switch available for. Where'd it go? Can't see anything. So dimmer switch for the backlighting, and then we're hooking up the red needle through the existing potentiometer, basically, that was on the car. So that'll be underneath the dash on the right side. This one's gonna be underneath the dash on the left side, so you can do them both. I guess Trevor's probably gonna keep them both on all the time, but you know, if you wanna change them up a little bit, you'll have the ability to, so. One last thing we need to do is get the, what is it, for the coolant temp sensor,
So yeah, we need to get some adapters for the little insert into the block for the coolant sensor.
So now that we verified everything's working, we cut out everything we don't need and marked off everything we do need, we're gonna take this wire loom out, tidy everything up, and put it back into the dash. And then we're gonna fit all the gauges into there, see how it all fits up, and then we're gonna get ready to put it back into here. So clean everything out and get it going. So watch us do that.
What's up, guys? We are at the end of our day here, and we just want to give you guys a quick update of how everything has turned out. So, ta-da!
All the gauges are in. Not the vent tubing, but the vents are in. Just about everything's plugged in that we can get plugged in. So it's almost ready to put back in the car. We have the wiring 98% done. There's some tidying up to do. As you can see, it's a little spaghetti, but we'll make it a lot nicer, and still a few things to plug in. That's the fuel. Once we put it all together, it'll be looking real nice. If not, it already does.
Very nice.
So, what a beaut. It's gonna be really beautiful.
Yeah, so in the next episode, we will be...
Next episode.
Well, even next time
Yeah,
you
you're
see
right,
us,
you're right.
either
You're
way,
good,
next
yeah.
way you see us, we're gonna be putting this bad boy inside the Datsun, and you're gonna see all these beautiful gauges work, light up, and tell you all the important information that they're supposed to tell you. So,
Because we still have to empty the fuel gauge. I mean, that fuel tank.
yeah, empty the fuel gauge.
Yeah. Jacob went ahead and cleaned it up, so it's all ready to be put in there. Oh, we didn't even put the blower motor in still, but that's real quick. Yeah. So, thanks for watching, guys. I think we said this was gonna be 2 episodes, but it's gonna be 3. But the third one's gonna be really really nice. So, because it's basically just gonna be it in the car. Yeah.
Installing it and testing it out, and I guess Trevor's first reactions, right?
Yeah.
So,
And cool footage of it. So yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to just see that last episode. And if you like Datsuns, share this video.